Okay.
From the 4th of the 2nd month of 1442, 17, the Star, 6, the Lovers, and Princess of Pentacles reversed. The twilight weighs heavily upon her as she delicately supported in her releasing burdens. We are witnessed by nature and what we've actively pursued by plants and animals, from deer to verdin. We will not fall if we hold in the pattern thought of the encompassing creeds till we're done. So we will ultimately find our true nature most rewarding.
Wow.
Simplicity and complexity. Oh, so what is it that we are truly surrendering to? Simplicity and complexity is all we need, because from outside and inside, it is already flowing. And I am here with Lzwvmmh
also known as Axaru, baby.
And so any
Yep. Well, I found that last card very interesting, I must say. With the
simplicity and complexity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
is all we need.
Wow. And that was the fifth card.
Outside and inside, it is already flowing.
Yeah.
And I think I think there's 2 lines each, so I'm presuming that.
Yeah.
So what is it that we are truly surrendering to? Okay. The Princess of Pentacles is often a very interesting card. I would say the Thoth Tarot is more meaningful in what you have there, but you have the idea, just like the 10 of Pentacles are disc, and the Universe card. They're both we're at the end of things, but then again we're at the beginning of things.
Oh yeah, they go hand. It's one coin, 2 sides of the same coin.
So the end of things in one way can begin the things for the other way.
Yeah.
But not in the death card sort of way, but in a, I guess that addresses the broader subject there.
Yeah.
But you see her, she's holding her.
I can see. Where one thing, there's actually, I thought it was 2 faces there, but there's one woman. She's wearing a dark kind of dress underneath, and another lighter one overneath.
Well, underneath is the checkered sort of green.
Yeah, the checkerboard. Yeah, the duality, right?
And then you have the cloak.
Yeah, and that's like the wholeness, maybe, or.
And so you have rich colors, obviously there.
Yeah.
It's fringe, so.
Yeah. Interesting.
So an overall red, but sort of
complexity.
It kind of makes you think of autumn in a way.
Yeah, it kind of does, right? Doesn't it? Yeah.
And you have those patterns on the rocks. If you've never been anywhere where these patterns are, it might be interesting for you to think about what the patterns might mean, because some of these patterns encode information about the stars, and not all of them have been deciphered. So there's information about the stars and the animals and stuff like this that's encoded in some of these patterns that they've.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, unless you've taken like magic mushrooms, you don't see that. Like there is actually patterns everywhere if we really,
Well, Well, I don't think you have to. Take drugs, but that is certainly a way that a person could. And There's phosphenes. There's phosphenes. There's different patterns and shapes and stuff like this that you naturally psychedelically see. Some people have to be involved in, but then again, you see them in nature. So a person in a certain state, whether they got there by drugs or by spiritual practices, they make the connection between the nature of themselves. Like look at the woman saying the pentacles upside down, right?
Yeah.
So the somebody could say that on both sides of the forehead, the chin, and the cheekbones form a pentacle, but your arms and legs spread about, that's another pentacle. So it's like she's reflected. So there's the head and the body in some sort of way.
Oh yeah.
And you know that way that vision doesn't really always flip things and reverse them and all that sort of stuff, but then again, it does.
Yeah, it does at the same time. Yeah. Both of complexity and simplicity, and simplicity and complexity. It's like, you know, it's like it kind of reminds me a little bit of the infinite regress fractal kind of thing. Like if you zoom into the fractal, you know, you know, it's complex, but it's simple at the same time in a way. But maybe that's not related, or what would you say?
But you have, you know, you see the patterns. You said the patterns are right. So you formed your ideas, and your ideas or your beliefs or this structure. And so there's work that's been done. There's work that's going to be done. And
okay, yeah.
So yeah, and it's rambling too much. What's the?
That was an interesting card. One of the most interesting so far, I must say.
So the first card. So she. Oh wait, no. The twilight weighs heavily upon her as she delicately. Okay, does she support or?
Yeah.
I'll say she's. I'll say. She is delicately supported. Now, this is obviously one of those videos that's going to be listed. YouTube is going to scan this and say this is 18 or older.
Okay.
And this is one of the decks. This is one deck that it's one of the most altered decks, and like people painting on little clothes. Of course, they make sure it's all dry and you can still shuffle the card and that sort of thing. But there's people who alter tarot decks, and some people draw clothes. So this deck, you're going to have pants or underwear or something drawn on some of these decks.
Okay.
I did not do that, but some people have done that. And obviously, we're some decks, the nudity is just gratuitous. This is not really one of them, even though it's more. But we're witnessed by nature. Is the witness by nature. So what is it we're truly surrendering to? There's knowledge. There's knowledge, and one of the things about this is she's dumping them out. Most of them, most of the deck cards, they're feeding at the same time. So I mean, there's stuff being held, and while there's stuff being dumped out. So your typical, she's just giving up. She's just pouring out. Something else is coming. So it's a stream. It's a stream. Why is she pouring out in the stream? It says somewhere where.
Oh yeah, there's a stream there. That kind of reminds me a little bit of. We go back to the water element, right? The cup. Or maybe that's not what it's representing.
Well, think of this as like Aquarius, right? Aquarius.
What?
This is like the Aquarius card.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really the vernal equinox around March.
Okay, okay, the age of Aquarius kind of deal. But
the real age of Aquarius is not just some. Oh, we just want to be different. It's like you're taking in the new information.
Okay,
Yeah,
exactly,
So yeah, the deer is watching. The deer sees what people are off doing there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lovers is also the brothers card. It's the Gemini card, so you get kind of multiple things going on there. But this card, you really don't. You're gonna have to think about it to interpret that part.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that was kind of simple to interpret. Yeah.
What are we truly surrendering to? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Simplicity and complexity is all we need, because from outside to inside it's already flowing. That makes sense for the star card. So what is it that we are truly surrendering to? Lovers card and the Pentacles card, which we went over. We will not fall if we hold in the pattern thought of the encompassing creeds till we are done. So we will ultimately find our true nature most rewarding. Okay, that makes sense. If I messed up there, that was what was in here. So this card would be on both sides. So we're witnessed by nature. What are we truly surrendering to?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because people, one of the things that people have, there's tons of stuff. It's not the desire or feelings or emotion. Feelings, I guess, is under desire in a way, and emotion thoughts are wrong or anything like this. It's what's been done with them. What terms did they get put under, or what use, or that sort of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. And what can we see on this card more?
Well, obviously, I think he's. You can tell by his position that he's finished.
That's kind of simple to see. Yeah.
Because he's obviously too low. But that's what they do on that's what they do on every other television show, is they position them so you know it's not going in.
Okay.
When you end up seeing a movie or a television show, they're trying to get you to think about sex, but then again, people are going to imitate this humping someone's leg or something. It's like, or somebody, or someone's back or something. It's like that. Not really solving the problem if you're trying to get people not to do stuff, but you can't. We can't really have it seem like people are having sex on screen. So we have to make it positioned a little bit different, but we want people to think they're having sex on screen, and then people copy that.
Interesting. And then people copy that, right? Wow.
This kind of relates, I guess. The devil cards, like the devil's watching. So on the lovers, on the lovers card, the deer is watching.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So they want to.
What are you beside yourself? Yeah. It's like nowadays is the theme has been kind of dropped a little bit. The idea of lovers has been kind of put to the side.
That's interesting. So that's been put to the side, right?
People are hooking up, but they're not. But the idea of actually being lovers or something is even dropped from the boyfriend girlfriend thing. It doesn't sound as transgressive or something as.
Okay. But, interesting.
It's you can't expect anybody to. This is not a sign that anybody loves you, but people actually, obviously, to a degree, you trust the person going out there in the woods with to break the law, probably. Because having sex in public is usually illegal.
Of course,
if it's not an area of the world where people would expect you to get married or something, but
no,
and one of the things that comes up with a lot of the Christian era poetry and stuff like this, I want to have is
romanticism.
Is the person, and elsewhere too, if your parents decide, you should just get married with whoever wants to marry you or something like this, and
exactly.
It's like, maybe I don't want this the first person you introduce me to and say you should marry this guy. It's like,
exactly.
Because he's decided he's interested in you. It's like a better reason.
What's kind of reason
and especially nowadays, you kind of want something. You're not going to stay together just because you were paired off or something. You want something more than just oh, I think this person looks good. Okay, I guess I could have sex with this person. It's like, well, you don't want to commit your life just because.
Yeah.
You
No. Yeah. I mean,
you think it will work there. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Wow.
But the princess card. See that, you know, because.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What can we see
The
here?
creed.
Yeah.
There's a creed. So it's usually it's listed as the princesses are the beginning. The court cards, the princesses are always the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I no longer have a ready graphic for. I did name some of the Princess of Pentacles, but that's somewhere something different. But the okay, I think. So and any further thoughts before we at least close that program?
Well, it's you know, I don't know so much about tarot like you do, but you know, would you say that the theme with this Druid card is kind of consistent with the theme of other tarot cards, or like if you learn one?
There's a consistency, so it is an authentic tarot deck. I'm definitely not making.
Okay, yeah,
it's not.
All right.
And
let me. Yeah.
Okay, probably.
Yeah.
I had the deck flipped a little bit. So we have a. Yeah, I think it's some of the issue with the picture is the program.
Yeah.
The program's like is playing games.
Okay.
It's probably because they expect you to stand there with a green. It's like they set it up so okay, if you stand with a green screen and you're facing out, so some people they can fish information from because they see all your papers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you don't want that's what part of why I don't show is because I want to make sure that that always there's nothing in the background.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And Druidry is said to factor into the deck here. And so it is a lot more natural world. It doesn't seem the Christian. It doesn't seem obvious.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You don't instantly think Christendom. Every other tarot deck, it's you think Christendom.
Yeah, you think Christendom, yeah, or Crowley, or
Well, Crowley not so much. That's part of, I guess, why.
Yeah. I mean, he's been like scrutinized by Christians, so that's why sometimes you make an association between him and. But that doesn't necessarily mean there's any connection. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Crowley was one of those synchronistic sort of people, but.
Yeah. Okay, like Blavatsky, yeah.
But Blavatsky was a lot.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me put the deck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Blavatsky.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Blavatsky, by the way?
Blavatsky had her issues.
Yeah, she certainly had issues.
So she was. I think Crowley was more advanced than Blavatsky, but Crowley kind of removed the whole fluffiness of it, and whether the millions, tens of millions of people going about accept Crowley or not openly, they really are made possible in their way by Crowley.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was the pioneer to many things. Yeah. And also, not only Crowley, there's another figure. What was her name again? It was Crowley, and there was Alice Bailey, or what was that correct? Alice Bailey or something?
I'm not familiar.
Okay, yeah. Some new age bullshit going on.
Crowley refers to the new age like it's different from him because he's like it's all the same stuff, and you're not really cycling to the new age. You're not really sloughing off the Christian.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
the Christian Jewish slave god sort of thing, and you're not really going beyond the sort of fluffy mother goddess worship that happened.
Yeah, fluffy mother goddess worship. That's a good word.
But then again, it's they've.
Yeah. Huh.
But then again, they've ended up
yeah.
You know, very, very upset because people don't accept that. It's like if you
Yeah.
believe this, if you believe this, if you think if you're doing what you think is the best thing, the right thing, why in the world are you complaining that I'm so oppressed because others don't? They don't have to approve of you. If you
that's a good question. Yeah. Oh wow, that's an interesting question, I must say. I've been thinking the same. Yeah.
It's like one of the things that people may have figured out in the explanation portion is the videos that I release for my seasonals. The videos I release for my seasonals.
Yeah.
I might, there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing that's not on the videos. Not that I'm hiding or any.
Yeah, exactly. People assume that. Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's limited resources. Yes.
Well, no. It's not just that.
Okay.
It's that.
Yeah.
Even if there's stuff like I don't have the rights. If I have all sorts of books, so but most of the stuff I could never read it out on the channel.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean
it's for one reason or another.
I can understand that.
I don't have the legal right to just read whatever. I pick old
that
sort of thing.
Yeah,
and I comment to cover some of that. But it's not that I don't. You know, I don't pick up and spend 20 minutes.
It's the same principle when you're thinking about like understanding Crowley or some of these people. They probably were limited by the same things you are limited by. Not necessarily that they're hiding something or
Well, back then, 20 years went by or whatever. So somebody who's still alive, But then again, things weren't on video. Things weren't being audio recorded. It's expensive to get a bunch of
exactly
of everything. And
that's the problem with the written word, right?
But what I mean is it's like I don't know if this was on one of these programs or not on one of these programs we were talking. People don't know how I when I'm doing these videos. People don't know how I feel. They don't know what I'm thinking per se. A lot of times I'm thinking a lot better explanation than I'm saying. I know that. Because I think about the things I'll try to throw. Hence a scholastic presentation of some stuff. I do write my own stuff. It's not like I don't do that. It's just people sharing in my studies.
Exactly.
It's like it becomes a mystical practice. Some stuff I sing out, some stuff I don't sing out. And I think I noticed some of the animals. It's like sometimes it's like I start reading out loud in the forest, and some birds and some deer come up and listen.
Exactly.
They kind of get what's going
details
on.
They left out. I mean.
And I do sometimes try to capture that with a camera, but I don't want to get too. I think that's part of why they go away. Is sometimes it's because.
That's it. And the thing is, when you like with my rabbits, for example, like you can only film that much. Like all the most interesting things are usually not filmed. And that's the frustrating part. Like
I mean, this stuff's important for the practice. It's like as I'm saying, my reading, even if I just some books some books I could read, but I don't read because it's not really the scope of my channel.
Exactly.
I mean, it's the scope of the study to make the channel possible, but the because it gets into basic just history for history and not really any connection and that sort of thing.
That's a problem with history too.
Let somebody else give lectures on Einstein or something.
Exactly. Because those things are subjective things, and people need to create their own subjective stuff around your stuff, like to make it their own unique kind of subjective experience, sort of, maybe.
So it's like we had our conversation, and we had like some conversations that I would have with people in meetings and stuff like this would go longer. So there'd be like a 15-minute ritual.
Yeah.
I'd get into it.
Yeah.
I'd see and feel and maybe even have a spiritual experience that I remember as a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Not just some psychedelics are nice. I mean, psychedelic experiences. I'm not talking the drugs. I'm talking like you see patterns and see weird colors and flows and
exactly.
Maybe it's like you're high, like you're on drugs, but it's like that doesn't come across in the film. People act like you're going to see supernatural, all sorts of stuff. You don't. You see the physical side in the film.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like some of the experiences, like you have this double heart thing going on. You ever experience that?
No. What's that?
It's like you have 2 or 3 hearts. So
what?
in your body, it's like beating. It's like, but you have 2 or 3 hearts.
What? That's interesting. Can you have like 2, 3 hearts?
But you don't have 2 or 3 hearts. It's just,
it just feels like that. Okay.
So I don't care how many cameras there are around you. I don't know if they're going to notice the difference. Sometimes, like what, your eyes are dilated, and everybody's going to say you're fake. But then if you CGI, everybody's going to say you're fake.
What?
Whether you're real and having experience or not, everybody's going to say, "Oh yeah, this dude's totally fake because he's CGI." And I do. They probably are.
Yeah. That's I have to admit, like, first time I saw your videos, the first thing I was thinking, like, oh, this guy is like nuts, or he but I don't think it's intentional now that I know you better, like, but I can understand now why you're seen that way sometimes, like your content and you and all of that is like seen from a very, like, oh, this is nuttery in a way, like you're not like most, like equating is like more like he speaks more normal,
well, well, he obviously learned marketing techniques to incorporate.
Okay, yeah.
But what do you mean? What did you see first? Was it like one of the, like the Goetia or like the Goetia or I mean Grimorium Verum? Well, actually, I think you saw some of my material before I started releasing that series. I had seasonal videos. So what was it that you saw first? I'm just curious.
Well, I think I mostly watched your, not so much your ritual videos per se, but mostly your kind of Lovecraft in the woods kind of things. That stood out for me. So yeah. But you have this kind of.
You discover. I know you've seen some of my channel before I started doing that though. So.
Yeah. I saw. I came to contact the channel through Nagago actually. So, I saw you commenting every Nagago video. So like, who the fuck is this nuttery? Commenting on every single fucking video. Doesn't he have a life? Or, I mean. And I've seen you probably in every single occult video. There's always a comment from you. That's so funny.
My practice is it is like it's like it's not just I'm not trolling. I'm serious about my content. It's like people are like it's like the other weekend. It's people like no, I'm not trolling just because I don't believe this narrative.
No, exactly.
It's like just because I don't believe this narrative that people are inherently victimized because of their because of their race, and it's like some systemic racism problem.
Yeah,
I don't see the evidence of it. I see the evidence to the opposite, or the evidence that, if anything, it's other races and not them.
Exactly. But it's like something in the subconscious mind, like when you see your comments, it's like assuming all these things. But I've always known that and I think that many people like negatively react to your stuff too, like. They think you're disagreeing or something. You're just curious. You come from a place of authentic curiosity. They don't understand.
Oh yeah, I don't have to. Well, that was one of the great things. Gargles Schlag was a channel that you can see enough of that channel existed. Enough of that. I mean, there wasn't so many subscribers that he never saw your comments, and he knew. He knew just like Just
Wow.
EU Quetting also knows
Yeah.
that I heavily agree with. I heavily disagree with a lot of what he has had to say.
Yeah.
He knew what he knew. When he agreed to be interviewed on my channel, he knew I was one of his stronger critics. I was, but
exactly.
he
I
also
think
knew
that's the reason.
he knew I wasn't one of those critics that was just like making it an internet meme sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I contacted you, right?
So I was a serious thing.
Yeah, he saw that you were serious, and you know.
So he,
Yeah.
I submitted something to them to see. I guess it was long enough. I shared something on my channel. It has this meme, but I wrote something called I wrote a poem explaining that's what I would do on Nargargle's channel. Is I would comment in a way that would be a poem.
Okay, I see that many times.
It would be an understanding or a response to whatever was there. So when he did something really crazy,
wow,
I was making sense of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. It's like your comments really show that you have taken in the other person too. That's something I like with your comments. Like you really listen and you're like showing the other person that you're giving like your own creative feedback to their stuff, and that's like a beautiful thing, I think. Actually,
which is why I know the social media companies. That's part of why I don't do as well on the social media as I might. If I was one of these people with the free, but then again, I could be somebody with 10 subscribers doing free commercials. Because that's what they really like. They really like you to be the person who does free commercials for companies and stuff. Somebody who's just upload with CDs rather than doing. That's the thing.
You would be good at that.
People need to do their own content. Social media is for people to do their own content, not to just upload the shows they want. Now, if you want to jumbo clips and stuff together, make them as short as possible. Always always under 30 seconds, if not less. But then again, I know what people want is just something to just be entertaining. That's why we say it's like I don't know. BMF X does
infotainment. That's what we call it, infotainment.
BMF X seems to be more authentic than a lot of those people at the very least, but it's hard to tell it's what exactly is going on sometimes because his videos are drowned in music and flashing effects. And now I know he has more money. He obviously has more money to be like most people can't afford to have rooms just filled with candles like that all the time.
Exactly. Like the old times.
Well, the old times, no. People could have one or two candles, and they basically get stuff during the day. They wouldn't have, unless if they were rich, they'd have like a bunch of candles. But candles, they don't come that cheap. If you're spending $200 on candles, like some of these people do, they're not. They're either not the poorest or it's part of their job because they're they're an occultist and they're making money doing spells and stuff for people. But it's like me going out. I honestly can't afford to go out and lay down several candles out there and and do rituals in the dark for hours every night.
I mean, you have enough. You seem to have enough candles here.
Making it a special occasion.
That's important too.
This is one of the ones that stood out more than most of them.
It does. I can see why. Shit, this is scary shit.
That's a ring of coffee, by the way. So it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell sometimes how things are going to turn. And that's another thing. I can't. Even if it's old coffee, I can't. I don't drink coffee.
I can see why your videos are not so popular among they want the flashy thing. They want gold there. Yeah, they want something like that.
They want people want the $900 crystal, not the
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
some guy with a dish rag and
yeah, exactly. Some orgone there
and beat up. or orgone is like you don't even know what they put in orgone half the time. That's
no. Yeah, that's some bullshit too, I think.
And so I think this, if I recall right, this one was for my pointing doesn't quite work as well as I think it does, but at the top you see this over the hill thing. So bringing out this candle in the start of oh, maybe I'll bring it out in my because darkness, you want something representing the darkness in terms of the summer solstice is when it starts to get darker, so yeah, that might be and for the other half of the world, it's the darkest time of the year for them. So, But so this one,
is that a spider in the middle?
It's like I didn't know what to make of it. This is like a symbol of the four worlds. You know how I've talked about, this guy has a Kabbalistic thing, so let's see from a Gnostic bouncing off the you got the clay beings, and you got the fire beings, and you got the light beings, and you got the realm where you can think of where the elementary ideas, the qualities of God or something like that. But you understand the qualities of God through it's like you have there's 3 books. There's 3 books, and I don't mean the 3 books on that thing there. There's 3 types of books. There's the revealed books, there's the book of nature, and the book of yourself.
Wow. Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
So so if there is a separate realm where it's like the names of God, then there's also the you also know it through the outer nature, and you know it through your own nature, or you can. So all this stuff about the truth is in you. You just have to realize the truth. Well, you need to be exposed to stuff other than just some people figure it's like
oh my gosh, I like that one. Yeah.
Some people have figured out stuff, and it's like it's like, oh, I never figured that out. I've read this before. I remember what it's talking about, but now I understand the conclusion. I read this story about I've been reminded about this story about this guy Shafi. I think is he was one of the 4 Sunni thought leaders, and he said, I never understood this one so they had the different sources of the law, and one of them was the tradition of the people, not just the revelation, not just the inspiration, but the tradition of the people. So there's a verse that says the way of the believers. There's a phrase that says the way of the believers, and he read the Quran like 300 times before he realized where that came from, because they said, oh, the way of the believer. So the community and the analogy. So but this one, what happened here? Just like when I do this stuff with these tarot decks, just like when I do this the stuff with I watch a video, I try to compose a comment. I'm not sure when I first start watching the video how the comment's going to turn out. It's like,
that's a good
how many times have I mean, I guess sometimes I start writing something and then that turns out to be it. But for the most part, I don't know how that's going to turn out, especially when I start turning it into a poem.
That's called true occultism right there.
It's my experience of the thing. So in this one, I share the experience in the video. I do like, I try to have I've tried to break things down in a few different videos nowadays. Few or so different videos. Like I'll have a video. I have one video like the upcoming seasonal, which this is going to be released after that. So for the summer solstice of 2021, one verse explained it went over the English meaning of all the verses described, and then it listed out, and then it went into some other stuff, and then it went in basically all the stuff in art, and then we had a discussion video on it. And so I'm going to have a video. I'm going to probably have a video where I'm right there I open up the ritual, I do the main parts of the ritual, and then I break and I reflect on the verses and whatever, and then I return to explain my experience. In the closing portions, if the video says closing such and such a rite, sometimes I try to reiterate by poem or whatever in the middle of the ritual. I try to continue the ritual, explaining my experiences as I've gone. And one of the things in this 2020's Samhain ritual, Samhain, if you can't pronounce the word, orange is the color, by the way. Orange is my seasonal color there. So I try to get my, if I find orange candles on sale and I end up and I have a few bucks to buy them or something, I end up hopefully not a piece, right? But I try to include orange candles in that. Just like the next one, I try to include white candles. But one of the things is that it's like up in the sky, just like that summer solstice thing. It was like up in the sky. So I don't know if there was like a being or something that this symbol is, because it kind of looked like that. But I don't want to say too much because I don't quite remember. But I saw this thing as symbolic. I saw this as symbolic. The spider-like candle holder is over that dot in the middle there.
That's interesting.
So it's the pentacle of yourself, but the ground of yourself, because you're, separated. It's not you're separated from your demiurgic sort of thing. You have access to the four worlds, but you're sort of there's your truth.
Wow, this is interesting. This is something I want to learn more about. That's for sure.
And it also reminded me of that whole Baphomet thing with that triple horn in the middle and that sort of thing. And it also some Hindu Rudra and that sort of stuff, which makes sense why this book.
Wow, you give me some really good hints here, I must say, about things I want to know. That's for sure.
But one of the things that comes through is it's expressing why I have different decks. Largely, it's gotten different expression out of me.
Okay.
So having this different expression come through me, it's been something,
Wow.
So my understanding and my experience. That's what I try to do. My seasonals also. This is a deck that you see, you really get that there's seasons going on. The Druid Craft Tarot deck. Almost
you do see the seasons.
You really don't get the cycles of nature too much, except maybe on the Empress card. The Empress card, you get cycles of nature, and you kind of get that. But most decks don't really make you understand the seasons. Or
why don't they do that for? Or why don't they include that? Or
well, the tarot deck, it has its basic structure, and a lot of people don't do much more than copy out and just
new age
art decks. Art decks.
Exactly. They're probably sold for the new age community to use for money frauds and well,
it's a collection thing. A lot of things people want to collect.
Like crystals,
rather than just hey, I want a collection of whatever stones too. Of course, I don't want. I don't want. If I was rich enough to have a certain collection,
of course,
I wouldn't want to be. Then I would have to have special locks on the door where I have my.
Especially
I do have security cameras.
Oh, you do?
That operate through my my internet connection. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
But I would have an even better security system, and I would have had a security like that available. Because a door. I got one. I got one in the temple room, and And
Mhm.
well, I don't need to say which parts
No, of course,
parts
yeah.
of the property don't have the camera, because obviously
Yeah,
you've seen from some of my videos, I can't,
yeah,
you know, how many
yeah,
cameras would I have to have everything on?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, how many cameras would you have to have?
And
That's
what
the
type of,
question.
what, you're gonna find some 100-year-old barbed wire on the property,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
do I need to protect out there in the woods?
Yeah.
And if there would be something, it's not like I'd,
Mhm.
tell you about it,
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
the,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
there's nothing but
I mean, yeah.
um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so experience and manipulating. So this title here, I guess, um,
Yeah.
manipulate. It's not that you're turning against nature like the biblical turn
Mhm.
off a natural man. It's just you're
Yeah.
using things,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
opportunity that you're given in the way that's best for you, and it can still be
Okay.
totally natural. You know,
Mhm.
it's like
Okay, yeah.
people get all
Yeah.
bent out of shape, bent out
Mhm.
of shape.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like no. If you
Yeah.
washing up and all that stuff, just don't
Mhm.
just don't
Mhm.
use shampoo 5 times a day or something, or
Yeah, I'm guilty of that one actually. I love to take many showers a day. I take like 3 or 4 every day, and I always use some shampoo with it. I know that's a bad habit.
that's kind of hard, kind of hard on yourself
Yeah.
to do that too much. But
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
and
But that's probably because I didn't
people
have any
people who
toilet
people
paper.
who aren't rich don't eat like
Yeah.
people used to, and people who are rich tend not to eat like people used to. So we
Mhm.
really don't have the natural
Yeah. Yeah.
response in our bodies that we used to have to stuff. No, um,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
but nowadays people be washing till they believe that. But it's like
Yeah. Mhm.
being neat, straightening things out and being clean and stuff. That doesn't have to be reaching to
Yeah.
the extreme.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I shower 4 times a day, but I don't wash my hands after I pee. That's